film scores like Inception, Interstellar, and The Dark Knight? Well, if you do, then all of these film scores were composed by the great film composer Hans Zimmer. And if you want to play piano in these styles, then you need to understand a few of the techniques that Hans uses whenever he's scoring a film. And so in today's lesson, I'm going to teach you a very common Hans Zimmer chord progression. I'm going to show you this amazing groove that he tends to use on these progressions. We're going to talk about a simple left-hand accompaniment that you can use to improvise in the right hand, and then I'm going to show you some very cool scales that you can use to improvise over these chords. So let's go ahead and dive in. Alright, so you want to play like Hans Zimmer, so what's a good chord progression to get started with? Well, one of the most common chord progressions used in film music is this one. Okay, it's a really cool progression used by many film composers, but especially Hans Zimmer. He really likes to use this chord progression. So I'm going to teach you the basic chords, and then I'm going to show you the groove that I played at the beginning of the video, and then we'll talk about some improv. Okay, the chords are very simple. First chord is F major. Second chord is going to be A flat major. Okay. Third chord is an E flat major. And then the fourth chord is going to be a B flat major. Okay? So we're in the key of F. You could think of this as a 1 chord. This chord would be a chord built on the flat third of F. 1, 2, 3, flat 3. And then this would be a major chord built on the flat 7. And then this would be a chord built on the 4. Okay? So you can think of it like a 1, flat 3, flat 7, and 4 chord progression. Alright? Next up, I'm going to teach you how to groove on this. And before we do that, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the like button. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this. Okay, so how do you actually take these kind of basic chords and how do you create a really nice groove on them? Well, I'm going to teach you what I call the Hans Zimmer groove, because he uses this in so many of his film scores, especially in his Inception film score. Check out what we're going to do with this chord progression. Isn't that gorgeous? And so we're going to be taking our chords and we're going to be adding a few really cool notes to each of our chords. So first chord, our F major chord, check out what we're going to do with this chord. We're going to turn it into what's called an F major 9 chord. So we have F, C, F, G and A with the thumb, C, E, and F. Okay, it's a really beautiful way to play an F major chord. Okay, so we're going to go chord by chord, and then I'm going to show you this basic groove. Okay, second chord, our A flat chord, we're going to play it like this. Okay, really colorful. A flat, we have A flat, E flat, F, G, C, E flat, and F. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, we call this an A flat major 13 chord, but don't worry too much about the names. If they don't make sense, don't worry, they will make sense over time. Okay, third chord, E flat. Play it like this, really beautiful. Okay, E flat, B flat, thumb has the F and the G, B flat, E flat, F, and then the final chord, our B flat chord, we're going to play a really lush version of this, B flat, C, D, F, B flat, C, and F. Okay? So in other words, we're taking our ordinary chords and we're coloring them with what are called chord extensions. And Hans Zimmer really likes to do this in his piano music and his film scores. He'll add these kind of really cool crunchy notes to his chords, and they're called chord extensions. By the way, if you want to learn more about chord extensions, you can in our chord extensions course over at pianowithjonny.com, so I'll put a link to that below. Okay, I want to teach you how to groove on these chords, but let's do a quick review on the chords that I just taught you. We have our F major 9 chord. Next chord, we have our beautiful A flat major 13 chord, our E flat add 2, and then finally our beautiful B flat add 2 chord. Okay, so how do you play this in kind of a Hans Zimmer style? Well, Hans Zimmer likes to kind of lay into his chords with what's called a 16th note pulse. It goes like this. Basically, he's taking each chord and he's dividing it into 4 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, do you see what's happening? And so it creates this really nice driving feel. his film scores, okay? So how would you apply this idea to this chord progression? Well, what I would do is I would start with the bottom of the chord in the right hand, and then come up the chord with the top 2 notes in the left hand, okay? So that's your basic idea, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're gonna do this 3 times. So 1, and then come back down on the right hand, 2, and then 3, okay? It's a pretty simple idea, okay? Then on our A flat chord, we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna grab the bottom note in our right hand, and then play the top 2 notes in the left hand as we come up the chord. Same thing. And 3rd time. Next, our E flat chord, we're gonna grab the full chord on the bottom 2 notes in the right hand. We're gonna come up the chord. Same thing as we did before. And then finally, on our B flat chord, we're gonna play our beautiful B flat chord like this, and then we're gonna play the top 2 notes in our left hand as we come up the chord, okay? And this is gonna be a total of 3 times. All right, let's play this together at a slow tempo, and then I'm gonna show you how to improvise over these chords, okay? I'm gonna count you off. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 1 E, 2 E, A flat, 2, 3, E flat, 2, 3, B flat, 2, 3. By the way, what film scores use this chord progression? Let me know in the comments of any film scores you can think of. Okay, next step is to improvise over these chords, because once you lay down your groove, you're gonna wanna play some little melodies over this beautiful chord progression. So the next step is to learn a very simple left hand accompaniment. The way I like to accompany these chords is I bring the left hand up and I kind of simplify it a little bit. Really nice, simple way to play the chords. Basically, I'm just taking my F chord, I'm adding the 2 here, and I'm kind of laying into the chord. Okay. Second chord, our A flat chord. I'm just going to play a little inversion of this. This is called an A flat major 7. Next chord, an E flat chord. We're going to do a really beautiful E flat with an add 2. I like to play it like this. And then our final chord, I just like to play a simple B flat major in first inversion like this. Okay. So basically we're hitting each chord a total of 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and then A flat, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay? And this will give you a really nice solid foundation to improvise over. All right, our final step is to improvise over these chords, and you only need to know 2 scales to improvise over these chords. Now for the first chord, our F major chord, the scale that I like to use is called F Mixolydian. It's like an F major scale, except instead of playing an E, we play an E flat. And it gives it kind of a darker, bluesier sound. Right? So this is a really nice scale to use on the first chord. Now here's the really cool thing. For all of the other chords, you only need to know 1 other scale, and it's only 1 note different from the F Mixolydian scale. For this scale, we're going to take that A and we're going to move it down to an A flat. And so we call this the F Dorian scale. And so this scale will work over all of the other chords. For example, on the A flat, it sounds great. On the E flat, and then on the B flat. So I encourage you to practice both of these scales over each of your chords. Once more, on the F, we're going to play that beautiful F Mixolydian. Then on the A flat major, we're going to play that F Dorian scale. Then on the E flat, same scale. And then the same scale on B flat. So let's go ahead and improvise now over these chords. I'm going to go nice and slowly, and I'm going to show you how you can create little lines using each of these scales. Okay, we'll start on our F chord. You might just want to start with the first 5 notes of the scale, and let's build some little lines over each chord. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to switch to our A flat chord. You can use an A flat in your right hand. Now to our E flat chord, same 5 notes in the right hand. And then our B flat chord. Okay. So this is how I would recommend getting started. Then you can shift your right hand up to the top 5 notes of the scale, and you can build lines in the same way. A flat major. Our E flat chord, and then our B flat chord. All right, next we're going to combine our positions, but before we do this, if you're enjoying this lesson and you want to do a deep dive on improvising over this chord progression, and specifically in what I call the film style, check out our film improvisation course over at pianowithjonny.com. I'll put a link to that below, and let's go ahead and improvise one more time, and this time we're going to use the full scales to improvise. Let's start with our first chord, F major. Here it is. A flat, E flat, B flat. And let's go a little faster. Here it is. Hey, did you enjoy the lesson? Well, if you did, please let me know in the comments, and be sure to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 1,000 step-by-step lessons for all playing levels, where you'll learn your favorite songs, styles, and how to improvise at the piano. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.